All relationships have their ups and downs, and being in a couple takes work from time to time. But what happens when the relationship is more work than play? We look at the potential signs the relationship is over. We have all experienced degrees of difficulty with someone we love. Occasional arguments are perfectly healthy, as it's having different interests and independent lives. There are certain myths about relationships and how they work that are regularly be tossed around. For example, couples should not fight. That opposites attract. That it's critical to have common interests, that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Some couples believe that getting help for your relationship must mean you are in deep trouble, as sex and love should happen naturally, and you shouldn't have to work at it. However, when disagreements chip away the couple's underlying respect, it often results in a slow decline in the motivation to patch things up. While a sudden breakup can feel a lot more shocking, it's also much clearer, a divine moment of separations. A long disintegrations, on the other hand, can leave a person feeling reeling, wondering at what point the we become an I. Every relationship is different. In recent years, there has been very credible and reliable research about what makes relationships fail. Perhaps surprisingly, the amount you argue, the difference you hold, and the commonalities between you actually don't bear much relation to your relationship success. Couples can have differences that may manage very effectively when they are not under stress. One might be quieter and more withdrawn, and the other more outgoing and social. They might have good ways to negotiate this, even if it is a bit tiresome at times, and even if they occasionally wish the other was more like them. Other couples can also have very poor fighting behavior, which can make them seem like they are in greater trouble than they really are. The issues that they are battling over might be quite small, and to another couple, perhaps quite manageable. However, for some it might get nasty and personal when they argue, or one runs away and refuses to engage, or the other cries and insults, and the arguments end up lasting for days. So here are signs that your relationships are near to ending. Number 1. You fight constantly. When a relationship has run its course, it can be difficult for partners to find a common ground in sense of connections that was once there. As such, fights may become more frequent and more heated, as they are likely a symptom of underlying issues. Number 2. You are too apathetic to fight. On the other hand, not fighting at all is not a great sign either. This is an indication of apathy and carelessness. When one or both parties don't want to work on things anymore, that's a huge sign that the relationship is on the way out. Number 3. One or both of you is not seeking help. Seeking the help of a licensed professional, whether for individual or couples therapy, can help mend some of the cracks in a relationship. A partner choosing not to go to therapy or seek help, especially if the other has suggested or encouraged it, is another sign of indifference toward the relationship. Number 4. You always feel like you need a break. Relationships often feel fulfilling, supportive, and at the very least, enjoyable. According to Spinelli, a relationship that's likely ending will be one in which one or both partners feel the need to take a break or get away from each other on a regular basis. Number 5. You daydream about being single. Along with wanting a break, you may fantasize about being single if your relationship is not what you want it to be. While it's normal to miss some of the benefits of being single from time to time, if you are constantly daydreaming about a life without your partner, that's a sign the relationship is not fulfilling to you. Number 6. There's a lack of intimacy. It's natural for couples to go through the ups and downs in their sex life. But if your intimacy has significantly waned and you are not looking to work on it, or communicate about what may be taking place in life or the relationships that could be impacting intimacy, you are no longer prioritizing the physical connections that was presumably once there. That signals that you are no longer looking to each other for pleasure in intimacy. Number 7. You have stopped helping each other. Healthy relationships are not only supportive but involve compromise and going out of your way to help one another. So another sign your relationship is on the fritz is not wanting to make sacrifice or do things that might be an inconvenience to support or meet the other partner's needs or wish. Number 8. There is sabotage involved. Often if one or both partners want to end things but don't know how, they may try to sabotage the relationships. This can look like a shift in behavior, expectations that are no longer being met, and the person constantly screwing up shows little remorse or desire to rectify or improve things. Number 9. You avoid each other. Another sign of a crumbling relationship is when partners find themselves avoiding spending time together and prioritize other activities or friendships over the relationships continuously. Setting aside individual time is healthy, but when the relationship does not make quality time for each other to balance their individual needs, it's a sign that this relationship may not make it. Number 10. You can't imagine the future together. One huge component of lasting relationships is envisioning your shared future together. As you co-create your life and partnerships, when a couple can no longer imagine a future together, or their view of the future doesn't align, it is indicative of it coming to an end. Number 11. You have stopped bringing them around. Think back to when you two were first happily together. You were probably proud, excited, and eager to bring them around friends and family. As the relationships began to crumble, you likely won't want to bring them around anymore, preferring to spend that time with the people in your life. Sense partner. Number 12. You want different things. This one can often be the initial downfall of a relationship. It is two of you realize you may want different things that are non-negotiable. Maybe one of you wants kids and the other doesn't, or one of you is religious and the other is not. Some things can be compromised on, but others simply cannot. Number 13. There is resentment. As the issues within the relationship began to build, and even if there's communications around the issues, resentment can still grow. Holding contempt for each other is never a good sign, especially if it's consistent. It might look like feeling consistently bitter, angry, or even hateful toward your partner. Number 14. You don't miss them when you are apart. A healthy amount of space and alone time is important in relationships, but after extended periods of time apart, like the two of you are taking a break, one of you is away on a business trip, or etc. If you don't miss them at all, that's a sign you have already begun to let the relationships go. Number 15. Their presence drains you. Again, partnership should be uplifting and enjoyable. When a person feels emotionally and physically depleted for a long period of time with their significant other, it is signs that the relationship is over or needs to be. Number 16. You are not supporting each other or celebrating wins. Whether you are feeling down or celebrating something exciting like a job promotions, having a partner there to support, encourage, and celebrate you is one of the joys of relationships. Not wanting to reach out to them in times of challenge or times of celebrations. It shows these connections.